What's going on, everyone? In the midst of all of the trade rumors around Kyrie Irving heading to the Los Angeles Lakers, Kyrie Irving went with Kendrick Nunn to a Sparks game. Yes, he is still in LA during this whole mess. And there were even a report a little while ago that I didn't really touch on because it was just kind of in passing, was that Kyrie Irving doesn't plan on leaving LA until the trade is finalized and done, which I think is really interesting. Like I said, it was kind of a throwaway line. It wasn't really attached to any information, so I didn't really want to include that in any of the update videos. But now it makes a lot of sense because Kyrie Irving is still in LA, he's still active in LA, and he's even going up to Sparks games. There's rumors that he bought a house, all of these things. And it really shows signs that maybe a trade is going to happen in the works. The Lakers are supposed to be sitting down with the Nets, Sean Marks and Rob Pelinka, this summer league, so this weekend in Las Vegas, to hash out and try to work out a deal. There's reports of a 3-team trade and the Spurs getting involved. I'll link a couple videos down in the description below in case you want to check them out after this video. But beyond Kyrie Irving being at the Sparks game, supposedly a lot of fans were, of course, asking him, when are you coming to the Lakers? What is going on? And people were tweeting the response. So as you see here in this tweet from Jacque the Poet, a fan behind Kyrie at the Sparks game just yelled at him, when are you going to the Lakers? Kyrie's response, real soon. This was met with loud cheers by the fans in the lower level. So this is really interesting because look, Kyrie Irving has been very active in trying to force his way to the Lakers. Him and his team have told everybody that has asked, we are going to the Lakers. If we aren't traded there this year, I'm going to sign with the Lakers next year because the Lakers would have the cap space to sign Kyrie Irving outright. And there's all these reports that Kyrie has told the Nets, like, you need to trade me, that he's active, like, with the front office, like, I'm not playing for you, I'm not doing anything until you trade me to the Lakers. So he is really trying to make this move to the Los Angeles Lakers, which the Lakers are, in return, trying to do what they can to go get Kyrie Irving. They're also trying not to mortgage anything too heavily, right? You know Kyrie's coming. You know it's just a matter of when, not if. So why, if you're the Lakers, are you going to sell the farm to go get Kyrie Irving? The Lakers are even trying to go after Buddy Hield and Eric Gordon. Those are reports. Granted, those could just be a way to kind of put pressure on the Nets. Like, you either trade him to us or we're going to go get these other two guys. You can keep Kyrie for the year and watch the disaster and fire just destroy your organization like last year. Look what you're already going through. You really want him on this team for another year? You really want him in the locker room messing everything up or sitting out for the year and you have to pay him? Just trade him to us. We'll take him off your hands type thing. And whether it's a 3-team deal or it's something straight up, the Lakers do have some leverage here. And whether they are kind of using that leverage to go, hey, we'll go over here if need be, it's still a possibility that the Lakers could get Eric Gordon or Buddy Hield and still get Kyrie Irving. Because any trade for Buddy Hield or Eric Gordon, which I do think Eric Gordon is a lot more likely to be traded. I think he will be a much easier asset to obtain as opposed to Buddy Hield. The Indiana Pacers, I imagine, would want something in return where the Rockets very likely would be willing to just kind of, here you go, just take them, give us a draft pick, something like that, and we could work it out. We'll take on some of your guys, THT, Kendrick Nunn, maybe Win Gabriel, and then the Lakers could go and do the Kyrie trade, maybe work it out to where they get Seth. If not, and they get Joe Harris, cool. I mean, it still works. Imagine the Lakers get, Eric Gordon and his shooting, which he's been one of the top 3-point shooters in the league the last several years. Go get Joe Harris, another sniper. There's a lot of concerns with him injury-wise and his ankle and how is that going to shape up. But with him, Kyrie Irving, and let's say Eric Gordon, you have everything you need. You have all the young, athletic defensive guys. You have the lights-out shooting guys. You have the size and big guys. Not only do you have size and big guys, but all your bigs can step out and knock down the outside shot. So you have everything you need. If they go and they pull off a Kyrie Irving trade in and of itself, there's really no excuse. If you pull off a Kyrie Irving trade and you go get an Eric Gordon or a Buddy Hield, I mean, obviously, Buddy Hield would be the more welcomed player, but I just think that he would be a little more difficult to obtain, to acquire. But there's even talks of a 3-team trade where Miles Turner would go to the Brooklyn Nets, and then the Buddy Hield would go to the Lakers, and then obviously Westbrook would end up in Indiana, and it'd be kind of this 3-team swap. Whatever ends up happening, I think at the end of this smoke and at the end of it all, it's very likely Kyrie Irving will be a Laker this year. I don't think the Lakers are going to have to wait until next season to sign him. I think that very likely Westbrook is going to go either to the Nets or he's going to go to a team like the Spurs. The Spurs will end up waiving him, and then he can go to whatever team he wants, which I do want to kind of dive into in a later video, so stay tuned for that. But sticking with this Kyrie Irving update, I mean, he's got to know something. He's got to have some indication, right? He's got to know that they're already there. You know, I mean, granted, it's Kyrie Irving. It's kind of hard to really break down and analyze the things he says and the things that he does. But I don't imagine he would just be throwing it out there just to throw it out there, you know. But, I mean, maybe he's just that confident that this deal's going to get done. But I mean, we've heard the reports. It's been a roller coaster ride, believe me. And worst case, at the end of the day, it's just been entertainment. But in reality, you know, we know what the framework is. We know what the inherent trade is going to be. It's just all the little, you know, nuances and things like that around the core of the trade. Beyond that, Kyrie Irving will be a Laker. I just don't see the Brooklyn Nets wanting to hold on to Kyrie going into the season. I mean, the headache and the disaster that could potentially be, I don't think they want that. Now, Brooklyn could wait for the Kyrie Irving trade after they trade Kevin Durant, but, I mean, they might even just keep KD if they can't get the trade, because they seem very high and stubborn when it comes to Kevin Durant, which is completely understandable. I mean, you have him for 4 years. He's a top 3 player in the league. You're not just going to trade him just to trade him, even if he requested it. Where Kyrie Irving, you just want to get rid of him. So you don't want to start the season with Kyrie being an absolute headache. You're already going to have Kevin Durant being an absolute headache because Kevin Durant wants to be traded, you know, and I don't think he's a guy that's not going to sit. Kyrie Irving's the guy that'll sit out and just say, I'm not going to play for you. You know, I mean, the guy sat out for a whole year and lost $17 million plus a shoe deal. He'll sit out to prove a point. He will sit out to show you're going to trade me. So even if they do go into training camp, I can see Kyrie just making such a mess and a disaster that Brooklyn just says, fine, here. And then at that point, you lost all your leverage. Now you're basically just swapping Westbrook for Kyrie at that point. Because if I'm the Lakers, why would I give you anything? Why would I give you a draft pick? Why would I give you anything? I'm doing you a favor now. You know, now it's no longer you're helping us. I thought we were the desperate ones. Look at you. You know, and that's what the Nets don't want to get to. And that's something I think a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, a lot of people think that the Nets have all the leverage and they don't realize how bad Kyrie Irving could really be for this team. You're trying to be competitive. You're trying to have a team that buys in. You have a coach in Steve Nash that has many questions, an organization that's just in an absolute wreck. You already have Kevin Durant that is an absolute total disaster if he's on the roster next year because he's not going to want to be there. How much is he really going to buy in and try to, you know, overextend himself for this team when he doesn't even want to be there? And then on top of that, you're going to have Kyrie on your team who's just, you know, throwing tantrums and not playing and just being a disturbance and a frustration in the locker room. What are you going to do? You're going to send him home and just say, we don't need you, like stay home, and you're going to pay him just to stay home? Like, if you really want that mess, go ahead. Because sooner or later, you're going to say, okay, we're done. Take him. And at that point, you're getting nothing. So you might as well do the deal and get what you need. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think this is something? Do you think that it's nothing? You know, I don't want to go too heavy into it. I don't want people to buy too much into it, but it is pretty interesting. I mean, he's still in LA, which the report said that he wasn't leaving LA until the trade was done. And now he's telling people and telling fans that that he'll be a Laker real soon. So maybe we get something before the end of the week. That would be awesome. I'd love, by Sunday, maybe Monday, we get that announcement. That's what I'm rooting for. But how do you feel about this? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot, lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.